distancia. No te puedo conocer.
It doesn't get any better than that. People, you are tuned into Rehumanize Yourself Radio with your host, Herman Olivera, at 89.5 WPKN in Bridgeport, Connecticut, where we are proudly serving Fairfield, New Haven, Litchfield, and Suffolk counties on the dial. And let's not forget about WPKN.org, where we are streaming 24/7 across the globe. And tonight we are live here in the studio with Rick Reyes and the Cosmic Jibaros. And we're live on YouTube. We're live streaming now. This is something that we are really, let's say hello to the camera, guys. And yeah, if you love this, tune on in for more, because this is going to be first of many. We're going to probably move this out to the community room at some point, but get used to these live performances. And speaking of live performances, you guys are going to be October 7th at Park City Music Hall. You don't want to miss that show. This is a very special group that's near and dear to my heart. They live up to their name, the Cosmic Jibaros. Cosmic, that's all you need to know, is that they're cosmic. It doesn't matter what music you're into. They have something for everybody. And I promise you this much, they will move you. Go in with an open mind, open ears, open heart, and just let the rhythm hit you. And you guys, again, you're so amazing, and I wish you so much more success. I want the whole world to know about you guys, and I want you to keep pushing for as long as you can, because this is what the world needs now. We need more free-form, genre-less music out in the world right now, with soul, delivered with full-on intentionality like you guys do. And yeah, that's what the world, because I wanted to ask you guys the state of music right now. I mean, what are you thinking? You know, again, it's not to criticize, but do you feel like I do that a lot of music now is just overproduced? They've sucked the soul out of the artist. Really, there's some artists with beautiful voices, but yet it's like they pro-tooled the hell out of them. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I often ask myself, am I just getting old and I'm not getting it, or what it is? But yeah, although my kid just pointed out at a song as a young man out of the South. I forgot his name. Some guy that just came out recently that put out a song that it's resonating with a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. I forgot the artist's name.
Do you know what genre it falls under?
No, it was like a folk guy.
Oh, the one that the whole grassroots, again, he was like a YouTube sensation.
I am embarrassed to say I don't know the guy's name, but it's apparently it's a song that this young man put out, and it caught on fire.
Asia, do you know?
Yeah, Richmond, north of Richmond.
Richmond, north of Richmond. Okay, so I just like, oh, okay, and I was reading about it, how interesting that a young man without any backing, anything, just puts a song out, and all of a sudden it blows up. I don't know much about the artist, except that I think that's a good thing. If somebody, you know, it shows the power of a song.
Yeah.
You know, so all to say that, if I think that things are overproduced, it's a weird time when people just don't want to like think, or they just want everything in one bite. You know, and everything has to be processed, and it's safe.
And again, it's nothing against synth music for me.
Nothing against that,
because I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan. So it's nothing against electronic music, but I've often noticed it's like, boy, like there's certain artists where they just have this beautiful sounding voice when you hear them a cappella, unplugged and whatnot. I was like, why did they overprocess this? I don't understand. What's with all the with all the razzle dazzle in the studio?
I have to say that even what I think is still true, even in the world of digital and computers and all this kind of stuff, is that if you manage to have a good song, and if you manage to put blood in the lyrics, and the spirit in the music, it's going to catch it. People are going to catch it.
I think that's what he did too.
I think this seems
because he spoke to, there was that certain mean, there were a ton of people that just really caught on to him, and he sticks to his guns. I don't.
Yeah, I don't even. I have to be honest with you. I heard the song the other day, and I haven't. All I heard was the fact that this guy had the #1 song,
and he's sticking
chart.
to his guns. Where now he's touring,
Yeah.
and he got upset because this one venue was charging way too much for a meet and greet, and he didn't want
really?
that. They were charging way too much for the tickets, so he refused to play.
Right.
So he's not. He's not.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable that is for him this early on. Early on in his career, but he's sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, I again, I just heard the song the other, not too long ago, and I was like, okay, cool, and I was fascinated by the story,
Yeah.
of a guy coming out of nowhere, and just putting a song out, and he felt it, and he really felt what he was singing, and it resonated with a bunch of people, and it's just flying. So to the point that I think that even in a world of technology, even in a world where I hear like where bands have to you have to put a lot of money down just to have a shot at the record business. But this gentleman proved that wrong, and it's just, I think that if you have something good, something real, something with passion, it will resonate, with a lot of folks. And I think that that's hopefully we'll get to hear more of that.
Yeah.
In the today, and that's why I keep talking about the original music and things like that. Because 20 years ago or so, it was there was a much more original music scene in the area, And in reality, there was this venue, the acoustic, now the Park City Music Hall, who was that in another place called the Green Room,
yes.
the Green Room, where they
we did
had
our first gig.
where they really encourage. There was a certain feel like we want to hear it's a live original music band. Because 20 years ago, it's a bit of a different time, and here you had an all original Latin rock band playing songs that all original music, and you had a venue that gave us the opportunity to sort of kind of play.
There was no other band back then, and no other band now. Unless if you know of any other band that's trying to do what you've done.
I don't know. I mean, I was
Not here.
all these things that you question.
Yeah, not here.
Not in this region.
Like if you like, but even you think about the state of rock music, for example, right? Like we're like a Latin rock band,
Yeah.
right? And so,
And Latin rockeros, I'm going to tell you, rock harder than anybody else. I was blown away. I saw Mana. This was right before the pandemic, and it restored my hope that there is true crowd participation. Nobody had time to hold up their iPhone and record it because they were screaming to the top of their lungs, singing every note. And it's just one of those things where, and I've interviewed a lot of artists, and they're like, yeah, there's really nothing better than a South or a Central American audience or Caribbean audience, because there's so much passion, and they're engaged. And this is why a lot of bigger bands, that's why they choose to not even tour here, because nobody's really giving back the love.
Right.
They want to document it, which there's nothing wrong with shooting a quick video, but there's a lot of people, you see them, it's like they're like going on Facebook. It's like, wait a minute, do you realize who's performing right now? It's like they're not even engaged.
Right.
But yeah, like Mana, they literally ripped the roof off of the Barclays, where I was just restored my faith.
That's awesome.
That true rock still exists.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the rock that everybody, assumes is gonna, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
like our brothers from Mexico, Mana. It's like one of the greatest rock bands out there, still doing it, And they pack. This is what people don't realize. They pack stadiums.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They
Huge.
pack stadiums and coliseums, left and right. Where a lot of other bands, they even with way more traction and years ahead of them, they're still not doing what these guys could do.
Yeah.
So I still think, and that was the other interesting thing there, was it wasn't just Latinos that were there too. It was a nice, it was mostly Latinos, but it was nice to see the sprinkling of other non-Latinos participating. Again, you could tell they didn't understand what they were singing about, but they were moved by it.
Sure.
So
I would love to see
and motivated enough to go pay the price of admission to witness it.
Like Herman it goes to all the greatest shows.
Yeah, I don't. I try not.
It's true.
I try not to. I'm actually kicking myself because I didn't go to Duran Duran last night. But that's a whole other
it's like,
story.
I would have been good.
Yeah. It's just too many shows. It's just way too many shows back to back to back to back. I haven't had an opportunity to process certain shows because it was like two shows in 1 week. And one was equally as amazing as the other, and you're like, all right, how sometimes you just savor it and you sit with it. There was no time to sit with it this whole summer, and now going into the fall.
Yeah.
So, speaking of music, do you guys want to do one or two more?
One more.
One more.
Okay.
All right.
What do you want to do? All right. I guess it's
Come on, fearless leader.
Okay.
Right.
Después de estar corriendo sin saber dónde llegaré, me he dado cuenta que pasó el tiempo y que ya llegué. Y nadie sabe la angustia de tus penas, nadie sabe cuánto tú pagas por tu condena. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. ¡Hueva! Después de estar corriendo sin saber dónde llegaré, me he dado cuenta que pasó el tiempo y que ya llegué. Y los amigos que serán tus enemigos, y la propaganda que te dicta tu destino. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. Después de estar corriendo sin saber dónde llegaré, me he dado cuenta que pasó el tiempo y que ya llegué. Y no me olvido de lo que yo quería: el amor, esperanza, comida todos los días. ¡Hueva! No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. Y me dijeron que tenía que olvidarme de las cosas que estaban sucediendo en el mundo y que no podía involucrarme a lo que a mí nunca me afecta. Filosofía de la mala semilla que crece, que pertenece a esa gente que se lo merece. Con el puñal en la mano para la lucha y dar contra tu hermano. Yo tengo sangre negra, sangre taína, sangre europea. Yo tengo lágrimas que han corrido la tierra entera. Por eso digo, no soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. No soy de aquí, no soy de allá, yo soy del mundo. Yo soy del mundo. Soy del mundo. Soy del mundo.
How did that end again?
I wish I had more hands to clap. But here we are on a Saturday night at the WPKN studios in Bridgeport.
Thank you, Herman.
I want to thank you, Rick,
Thank you, Herman.
Tony, Juan Carlos, for taking time. For taking time out to be here. I mean, this is really celebrating Hispanic / I always have to say Latino Heritage Month.
Latinx?
Latinx too.
Latinx,
Let's include. Well, that
everyone.
Latin is like the new one now.
It's a new one.
Because wasn't it? It was Latinx 2
Latinx,
years ago.
Latin,
And now it's
Latino,
Latin.
Hispanic.
Yeah. Let's just stick with Latino.
Everybody's welcome.
But it's a beautiful celebration, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate it than with beautiful live music. Very special music that's homegrown here in Connecticut, and it's coming right out of our studio. Listener-supported 89.5 WPKN. So go to WPKN.org if you're really appreciating this. We do have a tip jar there. It's always appreciated because, you know, we have to keep the lights on. We got to keep, we got to keep the studio going. We have some overhead now, you know.
Yes, it's a beautiful studio. Beautiful, you know, I mean, state of the art, really.
And I'm glad we're able to share this with you now because, you know, we had moved out of our original studios, which we're going on our 60th year. We're already going into our 60th anniversary of WPKN. Again, listener supported. Total freeform. There is no other radio station that could do what we're doing right now.
I mean, another nugget in Bridgeport. I mean, right, WPKN, all the great little things that we have here in the city.
Yeah, and let's not forget,
awesome radio station.
Speaking of Latino, let's talk about Luis Pomales, La Esquina Latina. He's almost going on 50 years doing. Again, when you think of Latin music here, salsa on Sundays, there was one guy doing it consistently for almost 50 years and still doing it and still going strong. Yeah. Again, he sends out a warm hug, a warm embrace to all you guys, and he thanks you for
thank you, Luis,
for being here. So let's give him a shout out because again. If we're gonna celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month out of this station, we gotta the first and last person that we have to mention is Luis Pomales, a selfless programmer who, again, a lot of people don't even know what he looks like. He never uses his name. It's always like Latina, but everyone knows because you know, growing up, born and raised in Bridgeport, on Sundays, you hear that music, the Latin music. That was him consistently. Radio stations came and went. He's still doing the same thing, sharing Latin music, and I'm doing my part as well. We have to keep this, you know, again, we have to keep real radio alive. Again, if it seems like all of the radio stations across America have been gobbled up by like these giants. All of our local radio stations, I'm not going to name names, but are all sitting under one roof. No joke, both AM and FM. And then you wonder when you're going through the dials, why does everything sound the same? It's like because they're programmed. Here, there is no programming us. We literally play whatever we see fit, and we have something for everybody. And I hope that this quenched everyone's thirst, at least for tonight. And if you really want to get the full meal. You know, you got the appetizer tonight, but yes, October 7th, Park City Music Hall.
October 7th, Park City Music Hall.
You want to come and experience live music. And speaking of live music, let's not forget about tomorrow night, Trova y Salsa. This is, again, brought to you. We're one of the partners, again, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. At Park City Music Hall, we have Trova y Salsa, and you don't want to miss that free. I want to stress free.
Everyone's on the guest list. Everyone's on the VIP list.
There's not too many things that are free, especially shows these days. You know, so take advantage of that. The doors open up at 5. The show starts promptly at 6. You don't want to miss it.
A Grammy Award winner.
Yeah. You know, and you'll, you know, are all you guys going to be there tomorrow?
I'll be
okay.
there.
So then you could do a little meet and greet before October 7th.
Sure.
And maybe if you have T-shirts in the trunk, you could sell T-shirts. Whatever you got.
What I would like to is like we're a bit old school, and so our Instagram is sadly lacking. So if anybody that's out there on Instagram, go to the Cosmic Jibaros page, follow us there. my Instagram is the Rick Reyes as well. So and the Cosmic Jibaros are under that. The Cosmic Jibaros.
Yeah.
And that's my plug. And again, thank you so much. Again, October 7th at the Park City Music Hall. We're looking forward to it. And Herman, you're the man, and I appreciate you having us here.
That's still within Hispanic Heritage Month.
That is part,
So
we're celebrating Hispanic heritage.
Yeah,
October 7th.
Keep celebrating it. Yeah. So again, I want to repeat, tomorrow night, Trova y Salsa. Not only are you going to, you're going to witness David Oquendo there. You got Edwin Rivera Sr. You have to stress Senior. And he played for Yomotoro. I mean, so he's not just, we're talking about royalty here,
He was a Fania recording artist.
Fania recording artist, and it doesn't get higher than that. And this is really special because, this is amazing that you've played with Ruben Blades and Willie Colon. I don't think, again, that's amazing.
You know who also too, can I say?
Sure, man.
He played with Menudo.
Okay. Which?
Oh, you say, hey, sure.
You can say Ricky Martin.
Yeah, and then eventually end up with Ricky Martin.
Menudo the Ricky Martin years, or like?
I toured with Ricky Martin.
Wow.
But I was drumming with Menudo when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, what formation was you had?
With the
Robbie Drago, was he in there?
Actually, it was the second group after Reyes and Charlie and Johnny. Yeah. And then when I stopped playing with them, I played with Reyes, Charlie, and Johnny.
Wow.
They had a group in Puerto Rico called Proyecto M.
Wow. Okay.
So I drummed with them. And man, I like the music.
I'm gonna have to have you come on in. Again, I like to really.
It would be my pleasure, man.
I want all you guys to come back in, and we could dive a little deeper.
Yeah,
because I want to hear all this.
Man.
So when did you tour with Ricky Martin?
I did his last tour right before La Vida Loca.
Okay. So right before, okay.
And people said, "Man, right before La Vida Loca, like, didn't you miss the?" I go, "No, he was always huge. Blown up. We were in Europe all the time, in South America, and we did a month in Argentina during those years.
I've seen him a couple times, and let me tell you, it's something to witness.
Yeah, and I got to play the Garden with him and all the big stages. But I honestly left because I just, I wanted to play other music.
Yeah.
It's like it was killing me that I wanted to play drums and play music.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, Ricky was great. It was a great time, but yeah, man, I don't know. You're going to go back to Menudo, bro.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what.
My man's Asia's like, who's Menudo?
Unlimited Touch.
No,
that band?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
As an original member.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unlimited Touch.
Yeah, we actually have a record out. I need to plug that. We have a record out. You were saying about streaming, so we did a record with Louis Vega right before the pandemic.
Wow. Okay.
We did a remix of our "I Hear Music in the Streets," our big hit, and then we did an original track. And we said to Louis, we wanted to be new Unlimited Touch, so we went to 125, BP's house, kind of a house groove.
Well, Little Louis Vega is.
Yeah, man, and the song is streaming big in Europe.
I mean, he was one of my favorite DJs back in the day when he used to spin at Roseland.
But the pandemic killed us because our record is really big in Europe, in London, South Africa. So we're supposed to go next year to London and South Africa.
Now, do you have a website or any social?
Unlimited Touch fan page, man.
There you go.
On social media.
So you heard it here.
We're on Instagram and Facebook, and everything's on there, up to date.
Beautiful.
And one of our singers is getting awarded tomorrow, Unsung Hero. She sings with Shaka Khan. She's been with Shaka Khan. Audrey Willie.
I mean, this is like beyond.
Yeah.
You're hitting me with all this.
So I appreciate Rick. Because when I said Cosmic is one of my favorite bands. It's only been like 3 favorite bands, and Cosmic falls into that category. Unlimited Touch is my family, like since high school. We've been together since 42 years.
So you heard it here. You want to go to the website. You want to go to all the social platforms, and it's streaming where?
All on all social,
on all of them.
All formats, man.
And the Cosmic Records actually on Spotify as well, too.
Which is great because people have been asking me. I go to Spotify.
Yeah.
Go to Spotify, iTunes. Although iTunes put all the titles of our record in English, but
what?
It's okay. We're working on that.
I see that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's fine. That's fine. But
Cool.
a little shout out to Lenny Nardo, and Emilio.
Yeah. The Reyes kids.
All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so again, I can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow night. We'll get to talk a little bit more. Got to have you back in the studio. Maybe even with more members, we could go into the community room.
That would be a great idea.
Yeah, I've been trying to push that.
That'd be such a killer.
Because everyone talks about the tiny, the tiny desk. It's like,
man, that would be it right there.
And it's we have that nice window where you can look. People could watch from the streets. So got to get back sooner than later.
Yeah, thank you.
And we don't need a special month for that. That's just it's an open invitation whenever you want to come on.
Thank you.
So,
isn't today the anniversary of last year?
Today is, yes.
It's so funny, right?
Again, the wonders of social media. I was reminded because Rick was in the studio with me last year on the same exact date on the 23rd. Which is insane. So I took that photo that I put on Facebook and all the other social media platforms. That was our photo that we took last year when you came into the studio. You performed, and
I think that was probably to talk about the Hispanic Heritage Show that happened last year.
Yeah, and that was actually I was with Lupo Males because I was during it was Latina Latina.
That's right.
So Lou was there. He was taking photos, and we didn't have the cameras going. This is something that we fully embrace. And again, I want to give a special shout out to Asia.
All right, thank you.
Our cameraman, our audio guy here.
Thank you so much.
Again, there's only so much as a programmer that you could do, keeping all the levels right. But he's the one capturing the magic, and we couldn't do this without him.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I just got a text from somebody. He says, "We're listening to you,
there
watching
you go.
YouTube. I got YouTube.
Yeah,
watching you on YouTube."
So keep sharing that, and once again, let everyone know we're going to build up that YouTube channel a little bit more with live performances. And I'm glad that we're at the tip top over here,
That's awesome.
and So, in order to keep that going, and I hate to remind everyone, but this is listener supported. We could continue doing this as long as we have the listeners coming out and supporting us. It doesn't matter if it's $1, or if you could be a sustaining member. That's a beautiful thing as well. But in order to keep again the spirit of radio alive, we really rely on our listeners, and and we also give back, because again, this isn't just always us on the take. Like tomorrow we have we're giving back.
I mean,
that we're talking about equal energy exchange. That is a free performance, and it's a beautiful thing. And I wanted to point out how beautiful it was to be able to work with other nonprofits in Bridgeport, Latino nonprofits coming together to work so seamlessly to be able to serve the greater good and extend this out as a free show.
We talked about the Holy Spirit free, and it's just, to your point, it's really incredible how great it was to coordinate with you. WPKN in a big way came in huge. I mean, this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for WPKN, Casa Inc., Bridgeport, Caribe Youth Leaders, Park City Music Hall, the Connecticut Council of the Arts. Anyway, a lot of great people came together to give the community, a lot of love and quality entertainment, and it's free. Come tomorrow, listen to some great music, David Oquendo, and then come dance. I mean, dancing tomorrow night.
Come to dance, or just even if dancing's not your thing, just feel the music and let's see where it takes you. You know what I mean? If it's just toe tapping, that's what it is. But you were moved,
and you haven't seen this venue. Tomorrow is your day. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful, unique place.
And I also wanted to make mention also that on October 9th, which is Indigenous Peoples Day, formerly known as Christopher Columbus Day, but we still have to make that clear. We also have a free movie series over at Park City Music Hall as well, and it's for all ages, because we'll be featuring Encanto for the kids. It's going to be a fun day. We have 3 films going on. We have Pan's Labyrinth. We have a music documentary. It's so again, it is for the community, but we also ask that the community come out and support us as well, especially now. Now that we're hitting that 60th anniversary, let's keep it going for another 60, maybe a couple 100 more years. It would be a beautiful thing.
That's
even
great.
when radio, terrestrial radio, who knows if it will still exist at that point in time. But I think as long as there's people that appreciate music, they'll always want something to hold, you know, and again, not be told what to listen to. We're not conditioning our
so
listeners.
great. Yeah.
We're giving them a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And tonight we gave you Latin music at its finest, cosmic music, because this is beyond Latin music. So once again, thank you, all of you.
Thank you
for
Herman.
coming here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you, man. We do appreciate it.
And yeah, and once again, big thanks to Asia. Again, there's a lot of things that he could be doing on a Saturday night, but he's over here. But a very important part of our growing community that we have here of volunteers, because this is made up of volunteers, you know, people that really roll up their sleeves and are passionate about music and the community. And on that note, yeah, thank you one more time. And I am going to switch it off now to some music. All right, let's go on with some Ruben Blades and Willie Colon.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, we'll stay in the Latin lane for
Es la quinta vez en el día.